The same energy and effort you put into ghosting and ignoring your discernment and inner truth, wisdom and intuition, and even the guidance of your spirit team and guides, the signs that were all around you, you could have taken that same energy and even less of it to remain patient, in alignment, and allow the divine and your discernment to guide you in the proper and right direction. The same energy it took for you to go the wrong way and to make a conscious choice to make the wrong choice and decision and go off in a way, veer away from your soul's path and higher calling. You could have remained patient and made a conscious choice and effort to be mature enough to directly communicate or allow yourself to express your true inner feelings from within your true heart, feelings, opposed to ignoring it, shutting it down, suppressing it, and deciding to accept an illusion. And even after you begin to um, regain clarity or receive clarity, you still could have exerted and made the choice to communicate directly. We all know where it was leading. We all know by way of the warnings and the direct communication that you received, the one-sided communication from honor and respect from one side that had the best of intentions. We already knew from direct communication and warning that was foretold where everything was going to lead. You needed to test the waters. You needed to fumble. You needed to lose and miss out on an opportunity. You needed to wait until it was all too late, then turn around and say, oh, I get it now. That same energy, you could have taken more time, been more patient, been more mature and willing to cooperate with your own soul's higher calling and purpose in the direction that the divine was guiding you and leading you. So you would not have to get to the point after it was far too late, way too late, recognizing and realizing after what another chosen or divine being meant to you, or the path and choice that you were truly supposed to make and go, because there was no other options or choices. It only presented itself as multiple choice or options, but there was no other choice. And so, too often, those of you who are deciding to run and to be avoidant of your inner feelings or the inner turmoil of the inner trauma, refusing to get your, inner self in balance and alignment with your higher soul's purpose and calling. Those of you who are refusing to do the inner work and addressing and being honest with yourself and having the willingness to, bottom line, ultimately communicate. Because even those who are considered advanced and awakened, they too have issues communicating. That illusion or going for that illusion opposed to investing in your higher calling, your soul's purpose. And far too often this happens. And this has to be alleviated. It has to be resolved and alleviated, right? I'm not talking about now after the fact, right? Because it's over and done. I'm talking about beforehand, right? Before it gets to the threshold of no return, gets to the point of no return. And so even when clarity is gained, even when there's still a window of opportunity open, even when the divine allows extended mercy and extended grace and is guiding you back on course, guiding you back on your path, trying to get you to open your eyes and see the truth. In those moments, in those key moments when the window is still open, those key moments, those pivotal moments call for direct communication. It calls for coming out of your ego, coming out of your pride, dropping unhealthy ego, and directly communicating, finding any means necessary to block out and banish all the distractions, the lies, the hearsay, right? The people around you, you listening to, unsolicited or bad advice, you giving your power away. In those moments, it's meant for you to step up and have the courage and take your leap of faith, do what you didn't do in the first place, which was take your leap of faith, listen to your discernment, follow your intuition, follow your heart, and communicate. It's meant for you to communicate because the window will close. And once it's closed, there is no do overs. There's no double backing. There's no backtracking. There's no, oh, you participated in doing what you did, right? You ghosted and you dishonored and you disregarded and you disrespected. And yet somehow, some way, throughout a delusional process or way of thinking, the window is still open, the opportunity is still there. It doesn't work that way. If you fumbled and missed an opportunity, it's up to you to um, show good honor and good faith and do what needs to be done or say what needs to be said and step up. If it's two-sided, you cannot expect or think, and that's part of the problem, that one side is supposed to resolve the entire issue, including what you failed to do or refused to do. That's immaturity, right? That's a lack of self-awareness. That's the inability to be mature enough and wise enough to say and do what needs to be done, to come outside of your shell, to come outside of yourself, to stop being delusional and arrogant. You have to show good faith and honor and correct what you made wrong and what you failed to do, which again is taking that leap of faith. You failed to take a leap of faith and do the background and the research and the fact checking. You failed to do that, right? You failed to ultimately do the research and then take your leap of faith, even without seeing the big picture and knowing all the facts and the details, waiting for all your opportunities to expire. And then, oh, I get it now. You failed to take your leap of faith. You failed ultimately to what? Communicate. Because even after you made mistakes and went the wrong way, had you communicated, had you stepped up and communicated directly, not all this bullshit that y'all love doing, indirect statements, indirect, a lot of y'all like making videos with indirect statements. I'm picking up on and I'm seeing an energy that a lot of times you're talking about yourself. Coming to the point where you're able to admit to yourself the mistake you made, right? In order to truly heal, we all must face ourselves, our inner fears and traumas, and that which feels uncomfortable, that which causes discomfort, even that which we did not even know needed to be healed. And that's where your guides, guide you. Because a lot of times you're not avoiding certain things, even though most of the time that's what it is. But sometimes you're not avoiding, especially when you have the willingness and discipline to heal and you see it as, something that's necessary. Sometimes you don't even know that something is buried deep down within your shadow. And your guides have to point it out and gradually guide you to, seeing and knowing what's there that's hidden, that you don't see, that you need to take a look at and resolve. But most of the time, if you're an avoidant and you just refuse to communicate because you're not a chaser and everything is always handed to you, and you're stuck up with a self-importance and ego and, arrogance and conceitedness, it will cause you not to do what it is you need to do. And then that will cause a domino effect and create a wasted opportunity to the point where you pass that threshold of no return. You miss that opportunity. You ultimately fumble the opportunity that was presented to you. And this is not no fly by now. This is dire and serious to your soul's calling and higher purpose. So this is why it has to be resolved within that time frame, that window of opportunity, that window of extended grace and mercy. Because once it's gone, once it's closed, there's no double back and backtrack and do-overs, none of that. You missed that opportunity because your failure, your refusal your willingness to be stubborn, and your refusal to change.